Super excited to share this information with you and excited that you're here. So in complete transparency, this is something that I have wanted to do for a very long time. I've wanted to create community. I've wanted to connect in with an audience of amazing, aspiring coaches just like you for a very long time, and I just haven't pulled the trigger. So now this is the time. The kids are close to going back to school in my house. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stacey Hartman. I am a client attraction expert for the coaches who are stepping up their business and really want to create an aligned, elegant business that matches the life they want to create. And in addition to my own coaching business and serving the coach community in this way, I also am a lead trainer and mastermind business facilitator for IPEC, one of the top leading coach training schools in the world. What we're going to be talking about today is the 3 biggest mistakes that I see coaches make, whether they're just starting their businesses or have established businesses and are working on scaling their businesses. In fact, it's the same 3 mistakes that I catch myself falling into in spite of being in business for a number of years. So I want to really flesh it out, and I want to show you how to break through these mistakes so that you don't keep making them and you can identify when things feel like they're halting or stopping in your business growth efforts. It's probably because of one of these 3 things. Let's get started. Awesome. Let's start with the very first mistake. I already alluded to this in the message that led you here in the first place, but the first mistake all boils down to the majority of coaches are selling the wrong thing. Now, let me just preface this by saying I find it absolutely heart-wrenching that there are so many phenomenal coaches in the world who are here to make a huge difference, yet the statistics of coaches that are actually successful in growing their businesses is daunting. Like, it's heartbreaking because we're here to change the world. We're here to make an impact, yet for some reason, things aren't landing in the marketplace. So this first mistake is the reason why that's happening, and it all boils down to our messaging. The majority of coaches are selling coaching. Nobody's buying coaching. In fact, a lot of people have their own definition of what the heck coaching even means. In spite of coaching being in kind of the marketplace for a long time, a good majority of people don't know what coaching is. So we're selling something that then we have to explain what it is and what we do, and that pulls us completely off track and pulls the focus off of our ability to really serve our audience and speak in their language. So here's where we're selling coaching, and we don't even know we're selling coaching. When we introduce ourselves, we're introducing ourselves as a coach, a business coach, a life coach. Again, what does that really say to our audience about who we are and what we can do for them? So think about how you're introducing yourself. Think about the initial message when anybody asks you what you do. And really, is it necessary to say specifically, hey, I'm a coach? Because a lot of times it just creates more confusion and questions than it does to actually continue the conversation in a way that will make sense for the person that's right in front of you and make it about them so that you can serve them. All of a sudden now we're pulling the focus back on us to answer questions about what that means and what do we do anyways, as opposed to being able to focus on the person in front of you to uncover exactly what they're looking for so that you can support them and actually show them your brilliance as opposed to answering questions because they're confused. So one of the things, you heard me introduce myself even in this video, I said I'm a client attraction expert. And I help coaches and expertpreneurs monetize their message so that they can become visible in the marketplace and get clients in the fastest way possible. So that's an example of how you can shift the messaging. Yes, am I coaching? Absolutely. But it's a little irrelevant when we're really speaking to our audience in their terms and in their language. Another place that we use this is when we offer complimentary sessions. So many coaches, when they're offering sessions, they are maybe reaching out to their warm market or maybe reaching out to, or while they're networking, hey, I have a complimentary coaching session. Again, what does that even mean? And how relevant is it that it's a coaching session? So this is another huge opportunity for you to be able to present your offer. Essentially, this is your conversion tool. This is your enrollment conversation. This is your ability to get to know the prospect to see if they're a fit for your program or for your coaching. Rather than calling it a complimentary coaching session, come up with a name, a benefit-focused, results-focused name that is super attractive to your audience. So maybe it's a business breakthrough session. Maybe it's a find the one session. Maybe it's a your dream life session. Whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, again, every single thing that we're sharing, everything that we're offering, it's crucial that we actually make it be in the language of the results and the desired benefits that your ideal client wants to get. Here's the other thing about messaging, a third way that we flop on our messaging. And it's that we use language. We have all this incredible language from being coaches, but we forget that's not always been our language. We haven't always used this kind of coachy, soft, loose language. That's not how we actually speak when we're hanging out with our friends or our spouses, or some of you probably have made that mistake. I know I have, and my husband about rolls his eyes to the back of his head. But we have to speak in a way that really is the way that our audience is speaking. So we're not waking up in the morning saying, gosh, I really hope today I can find my passion. We're not waking up in the morning saying, I really hope that my self-worth improves today. What are your clients actually saying? What are your prospects actually saying? Because that's the words that we want to include in our messaging. So we're speaking because we know what they need. But if our clients already knew what they needed, they would have already figured it out and gotten it. So we have to dial back our message, dial back how we're talking to our audience in a way that is going to land with them, that's going to resonate with them. It's going back and seeing the world through the lens that you were seeing the world through before you became a coach, and using that language instead of the language that you know now. So that's the other big messaging blubber, or whatever you want to say. Is that a word? Blubber. Another messaging little blunder. That's the word I'm looking for, blunder. Another messaging blunder is we speak to, again, what we know our clients need. They need to break through their blocks. They need to break through the things that are holding them back. But the reality is that the solution they're really looking for. So no, it's not. I remember when I hired my first coach, I was wanting to quit my job and launch my full-time coaching business. And here I am, a trained, certified, like the biggest cheerleader for the coaching industry on the face of this planet. And I hired a coach whose language was not like, I'm going to coach you or I'm going to help you find your purpose. It was, I'm not only going to coach you, but I'm going to teach you the steps that you need to take to leave your job. Now, I get it, like that's consulting, that's not coaching, but that's what I needed to hear. I know the power of coaching. I know I have all the answers inside. But when you're in a place of deep desire, a deep yearning for something to change in your life, what the client thinks they want is the answers. What you know as the coach is that they have the answers. But the minute that as coaches we tell them, I'm going to help you come up with your own answers, they're like, no, that's not what I want. I just want you to give me the answer. Now that said, we're going to give them the things that they want, because if they had the information that they needed to actually break through the challenge that they're having, they would have already broken through it. And then we're going to actually, as we get in the door, give them what they actually need that they don't even know they really need. So I hope that makes sense, because there's a huge kind of nuance that we step into when we can speak to what they actually want and then give them what they actually need, what's actually going to work. Okay, so that is the first mistake that many coaches who are growing, launching, building, scaling their businesses make, is we fall back into languaging that's not landing with our clients. So the kind of short of it all is our languaging usually speaks to, it'd be nice to someday have that, as opposed to, I need this and I need it now, and or else something else is going to happen in my life that's going to be even more painful than my current circumstances. The second mistake that I see coaches make over and over again is focusing on all the wrong things at basically all the wrong times. So what I mean by that is we become consumed with things that keep us stuck, like building out a website. I hate to break it to you, but your website is sitting in cyberspace with nobody seeing it unless you figure out how you're driving traffic to it first. So many coaches invest so much time and so much money and so much thought and so much resistance in building a website that then nobody sees. Websites don't get any traction unless you're driving traffic to it. We got to resolve the first challenge of traffic and visibility before we get all consumed with the website and all the blocks that building a website brings up. So it's amazing how many people put things on hold until they have things ready. So the second biggest mistake is, I'll be ready when? I'll be ready when my website is done. I can't network until my website's done. What are people going to do? I don't have any place to send them. Another big spoiler alert, I don't know about you, but when I go to networking events, I can't say that I get home from a networking event and go through all the business cards and start looking up everybody's websites. Just don't really see it happening. Let me know if that's something that you like to do in your free time when you go to a networking event and all of a sudden you get 20, 30 cards that you like to spend your time researching everybody and looking at their websites. Just probably doesn't happen for the majority of people. I'll be ready when I have a website. I'll be ready when I have my logo figured out. I'll be ready when I have a business name. I'll be ready when I have a tagline. I'll be ready when I have a niche. I'll be ready when, and everything, it's a bottomless pit. So let's get real. This is your resistance. This is the resistance, the logistics, I'll be ready when I license my business or I enlist my business as LLC. I'll be ready when I have an attorney look at, it's like, how many things are you going to keep putting in front of being visible and making the impact that you're meant to make in the world? Because frankly, you don't need any of it. You have your coaching skills, you know who you can help, and even if you're not clear on your niche, you're smart and intelligent, you can get out there and just start becoming visible and being who you are and start generating business. It's not necessary to have all of that stuff. I'll be ready when. It's hiding, it's an excuse. It's the deeper blocks that you're so familiar that you help other people break through. It's the perfect distraction, most often, from truly stepping into visibility, stepping into your message, your impact, your mission, because it's so much easier to sit behind a computer screen. And I'm speaking from experience. Oh my gosh, the hours, the money, the investments that I made in resolving those things were just a waste. They didn't bring me business. So we're going to talk about what does bring business. There's 3 things. Let me see here. I want to make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself. 3 things to make money in your business. An audience with a problem that they're actively looking for a solution. So an audience with a problem who is actively looking for a solution. They know they have the problem and they know they want to fix it. A solution, the solution that actually solves the problem that they're looking for a solution for. And then being the bridge to those 2 things. So what does it take to do those 3 things? It takes being visible, which is the traffic piece, and sharing, connecting, serving, teaching, stepping into an authority, an expert authority that stands out wherever you're going, and an ability to close sales, enroll people, get conversions. That's it. I can tell you, the clients that I work with, I asked many of them when I first started coaching this whole philosophy of like, how necessary is my website. In fact, my website was down for 9 months last year, and my business was still generating six figures, multiple 6 figures, and it didn't need a website. So that whole like myth and lie, it's just not necessary. So I asked my clients, so many of them right after they hired me, I'm like, so I'm just curious, did you have a chance to check out my website? And about 90% of the time, they're like, no, I didn't even look at your website. So it's just one example. Like if they're not even looking at a website, they're probably not also looking at a logo and a tagline and all of those things when your messaging, again, back to the first mistake, is really dialed in and powerful for your audience. Okay. So my challenge to you is, what are your excuses? What are you saying? I'll be ready when, and to just go do it. Put it into action. Who's ready for the third big mistake that I see coaches making over and over again, no matter what level of business they're in, whether they're just starting out or scaling their business or revamping their business, because the business is always evolving. If anybody's feeling triggered by all of this, good. Because, oh man, ever since I've become a coach, I've thought ignorance is bliss. Like sometimes I just wish I didn't know the things that I knew about energy and about blocks and about how I hold myself back. Okay, so yes, I'm getting thumbs. We're ready for the third big mistake. We overcomplicate our businesses. And it's a 2-in-1. This is like a twofer. We overcomplicate our businesses because we have bright, shiny object syndrome and we try to do everything when it comes to marketing and selling. So what I mean by this is the majority of people, the majority of coaches have got to go on an information diet. I'm thrilled y'all are here with me right now. But the truth is that many times we are consuming so much information, and it's for things that are for way down the road in our business. Like I'm trying to figure, for example, I have a client who is really trying to work out how to create her group program and all the components of her group program. Yet what she really needs to work on is finding the traffic. You can't fulfill a group program until you have a consistent and sustainable way of generating the traffic and closing the sales. So there's all these steps that have to happen before the group program can be launched. Or you create everything for the group program and ultimately realize that oh my gosh, I don't know how to fill it. Like I don't know how to get people interested enough to even say yes. So all of that energy and all of that focusing on something way down the road as opposed to the thing that's right in front, like the key challenge to be solved in business, ends up being a waste, because by the time then we figure out the front pieces and we go to the last piece, we're ready to revamp it, or things have changed so much because the front pieces actually reveal a lot more information about your clients, about what they're looking for, about what would be the perfect group program for them. So then it changes everything down here. So there's a lot of consuming information that ultimately doesn't yield any results. So how do we resolve that? We're crystal clear on exactly what our next step is. So again, let me simplify this. There are 4 steps in your business. And it goes in this order. Traffic. We've got to have eyes on us, on our expertise, on what we have to offer, on who we are. So the 4 key traffic sources, this is like a nice little nugget for y'all. There's 4 kind of most powerful places to get visibility, to get eyes on you, your business, the results you deliver, the incredible impact that you make on your audience's life. And here they are. I'm going to do 2 offline and 2 online. The 2 offline places are networking and speaking, hands down. The reason being is because it allows you to really be in your authority, to be visible. So networking and speaking, where you're face-to-face, belly-to-belly, connecting with people, are going to be the 2 most powerful offline ways to get visibility on your business. Online, the 2 most powerful ways are organic social media, connecting over social media. That can be sharing blog posts on social media, wherever the following already is, sharing it in groups, finding essentially the pods of people that you want to lead, that you want to coach, that you want to serve, and sharing valuable content in those places. So that's the visibility piece. I'm actually on to step 2, but bear with me. And paid advertising. So let me just talk a little bit about paid advertising. It's obviously got its costs and there's some risk, but ultimately it's the most powerful, incredible way to build sustainability and consistency that's really reliable, as opposed to feeling like you're constantly throwing spaghetti at the wall. That said, I don't recommend paid advertising until people have really mastered some of the other traffic sources or exhausted the other traffic sources. I guess that's the biggest thing, is eventually we exhaust a market. So when I first launched my business, my very first step was network. And I live in a small community, so I was attending a lot of networking events, and then even expanding out into the bigger cities in my state, network. And it wasn't very long. It actually only took about 6 months, where I had pretty much exhausted my local community as well as some of the bigger networking events where my audience was hanging out in bigger cities. So then it's, what do you do when you exhaust an audience? There's always some new people trickling in here and there, or some people that then are ready at a later time that they weren't ready the first time to talk to you. But it goes from a floodgate opening to just like a trickle. And then that's like, how can you build beyond that? How can you build beyond that warm audience and that warm connection? So that ultimately is what led me to paid advertising, because there's like 1 billion people on Facebook, and you can get your message in front of millions of people with a few clicks of a button, and that's scalable and it's sustainable for down the road. Okay, so that's the traffic. So that's the first thing that we need, traffic. Visibility. Ultimately, it's visibility. After we have visibility, it's delivering immense value. This is your expert authority. This is where you're teaching, you're serving. And again, like when you know your audience inside and out, you're really teaching the content that they're looking for and that you're passionate to deliver. And again, back to what I mentioned in the previous mistake, what are people looking for? What's their challenge? What's the problem that they have that they're actively seeking a solution for? Your content, whether it's live video, which is going to be the most powerful way to connect personally with people, or writing, or video writing. I don't even know, because I only do video and writing. Maybe there's other ways too. Audios, I suppose. But whatever you're doing to deliver that content, just make sure it's really speaking to the problem that your audience is having and presenting them with solutions. And don't hold back your content. Like, give some of your best stuff away. That's another thing. Sometimes I hear coaches say, like, I'm afraid if I give it all away that they're not going to need to hire me because I've given all my best stuff away. And the truth of the matter is that you have access to an unlimited amount of wisdom. And actually, it's like, from this place of abundance, the more you give, the more creativity, the more insight, the more powerful solutions are actually coming to you to continue to give out. It's really that place of abundance. The more you focus on giving and serving and delivering phenomenal content, the more is going to keep coming to you on how to continue to serve your audience at a deeper level and at a greater capacity. Okay, so that was the second thing around this whole staying laser focused. Figure out the traffic, figure out the content that's going to speak to the traffic, and then figure out your offer. So this is your conversion offer. This is your conversion tool. Most often your conversion tool is going to be a complimentary session, or it's going to be something that you're offering at zero cost, right? A webinar or a training, or just taking them to that next step. So you're nurturing people along the path, which is allowing them to get to know you better, to uncover, because you're not going to be for everybody. Does their style resonate with me? Am I connecting with them? How about their personality? So it's just revealing your character, revealing who you are, revealing what you stand for, and giving people the chance to really see, you know what, I dig you. Or to say, you know what, you drive me crazy. Your funky little whatever, your curly hair bugs me. Okay, fine, no big deal. But the important thing is that you're being authentic and real and vulnerable in all of your marketing and messaging, and you're sharing this content so that they can really know, am I a fit? Because when you market and talk and message to everyone, you market, talk, and message to no one, right? Be willing to be bold. Be willing to, I say truth bitch slap people. Sometimes the truth hurts, but we gotta say it. If that's your style, right? In your own way. Okay, so the fourth thing that we need then is we have got to step into mastery of sales. So when it comes to this bright shiny object syndrome, over-consuming information, like the information you're looking at is, how can I get my message out in front of more people? That's the traffic piece. How can I create content in a way that is in alignment, or what's the most powerful way to create content that then nurtures people to continue to stay engaged? And how can you create an offer, like basically your conversion tool, which is most likely a strategy session or a discovery call or a coaching call of some kind, or maybe it's a webinar that you're selling straight from webinar or training. And how can you effectively do sales? Sales is an art. There's no question about that. And it's really taking a look at what's the most elegant, aligned, authentic, detached, powerful way that you can do sales and step into mastery. That's like the number one skill to step into mastery of. Like, we don't get to coach people or have a coaching business. Our coaching hobby doesn't turn into a business until we close sales. So stepping into breaking through any resistance that there is around sales and understanding how to do it in a way that feels good and not manipulative and gross and weird like so many people approach sales out there is crucial for your business. Okay, so let me just share this path, right? So I have a couple different examples from some of my clients. So first of all, I'll just share my path for my entire business. Again, simplifying things, not overcomplicating them, was really simple. I did paid advertising to a webinar. On the webinar, I offered a strategy session, and from the strategy session, they became a client. 4 steps, right? I just shared that. There are 4 steps, four ways to nurture people along the path. And that was it. That was it. I did it over and over again, rinse and repeat. And guess what? It was the same webinar for 2 or 3 years. So it's one Facebook ad. The same Facebook ad brought in 16,000 leads. One ad. So one ad, one webinar, one enrollment conversation process, and one onboarding, like onboarding a client who says yes. That's it. 4 steps. So not everybody's going to be like really wanting to dive into tech stuff or paid advertising or those things. So here's some other paths. I have a client right now that I'm working with. This is so in alignment with who she is. Like it's so on brand and so just how she wants to be of value and of service to the world. So she loves adventure. She loves experiences and adventure. So her entire path is first inviting a very small group of people to go on essentially little day trips where there's adventure, there's inspiration, and breakthrough, and some transformation. Her audience is career women who are just doing too much. So this nice, small, little kind of entry point is where she's really introducing herself. The draw, the traffic is the adventure and some of the other experiences, right? And then during that time, after spending that day or half day together, when she's doing the transformation or the inspiration at the end of the event, she's going to offer a session. And from the session, then she'll step into the art of sales and enrolling clients. So for her, it's a perfect match. She doesn't want to sign 10, 15 clients a month. She wants a couple clients a month, and this is honoring everything that she loves to do. That's her path. Another client, same sort of thing. She wants to do half-day workshop. This is her content. This is her expert authority space where she's stepping into her, her brilliance, her authority. She's doing a half-day workshop. So how she's filling the workshop, the traffic to the workshop, it's a free workshop. So the traffic is through networking, connecting, leveraging her warm audience and referrals. The workshop itself is her content, her expert authority. Then she's making the offer for the session. Then she's gonna be converting into clients, right? So it's like finding the most simplistic, aligned path for you that you can do over and over again. So these 2 clients, they'll do 1 a month, maybe 2 a month, depending on how many clients they'd like to secure. And that's just gonna be the consistent path. Now they only have to focus on mastery of whatever's happening. So whatever happens, it's just information. So if nobody shows up to an event, or in my case, let's go back to my path where it's paid advertising to a webinar, to a strategy session, to client. So if I have all this traffic coming, but nobody shows up, it's just information. Now I know one of the things that I want to learn is how to get more people to show up. So when I start seeking information, I'm resolving the challenge that I'm having as opposed to something else that's distracting me from the thing that's going to get the results in my business, right? And if everybody's showing up, but they're not saying yes to a complimentary business breakthrough session, then I know, there's some strengthening, there's some deeper authority, maybe vulnerability, maybe visibility, whatever it is. I got to figure out why my webinar isn't working the way it's intended to work. Then I'm going to study and learn and consume information to improve that. Oh, now they're signing up, but my sales aren't closing. Okay, awesome. That's such great information to have, because now I know that the opportunity for me is to hone in on my sales process and become stronger at that. And maybe where am I lacking some confidence, or maybe where am I not showing up as powerfully? So once you have your straight line path, like you can measure, you can see, you can tangibly see like where are the leaks. And then that will direct your learning so you don't overconsume information, because you only need one path to rinse and repeat over and over again to build a highly successful coaching business. So those are the 3 mistakes. That is what I wanted to share with you. I so appreciate each and every one of you for joining me. I'm going to continue to do exclusive trainings. You're not going to find them anywhere else. And I'm going to be sharing inspiration, sharing client attraction tips, anything and everything that I can do to support you in your businesses and growing your business to the level you want to grow it, that's in alignment with creating the life you want to live and a life you love. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you every step of the way. So thank you all for joining me. I look forward to continuing to engage with you. Stay engaged, stay connected. You have questions, ask questions. This is for you. And that's it for today. I'll see you later. Bye.